What's good, everybody? This is Preston, lifelong adventurer and travel YouTuber.
And I'm Ryan, the travel photographer, here to capture moments worth saving.
And this is Adventures with Pictures podcast, bringing all those travel tips,
horror stories,
and just all-around travel experiences. This is your podcast to soften those travel blues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Now let's get started and hear from our guest today.
All right, thank you for joining us for another episode of Adventures with Pictures. As you can see, instead of my co-host here, it's just me, just one half of Adventures with Pictures. Preston is out there on travel. You can't have a travel podcast if you're not traveling, I always say. So, I have someone who I really find very entertaining, very informative. This is Darryl from Take Off with Darryl on Instagram. And he has decided to just kick it with us for a little bit today. Darryl, so our listeners get to know you, just tell people a little bit about yourself.
All right, cool. Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina. Well, not in North Carolina, but I live in Raleigh. Been traveling since 2014. That's when the travel bug had bitten me. What ended up happening was, like, all throughout undergrad and everything, I'm like, hey fam, let's go travel, let's go do this. Nobody wanted to travel. So I basically had to find some people who wanted to travel, and it was a wrap after that. So been traveling ever since, and then more and more after every trip, I just started growing and learning more about myself, going on trips, being open-minded. And then before you know it, my social media just started growing, because of the support that I wasn't getting from the people that I knew. Mm-hmm. I was, let me just adventure, and connect with other like-minded travelers, and then before you know, I just started being more comfortable with myself, started being my more goofy self, and then things just started blowing up. So I just pretty much just kept everything just going the same, just being my authentic self and just going with the flow of travel, man.
Hey, I appreciate it. You said something that's really key for me, because me and Preston, we started this podcast. We started it in 2020 around late April, yeah. But we really didn't take it. We took it a lot, more seriously starting in January, right? But one thing you said that really stuck out to me, you said you found it kind of surprising that the people that you knew personally really wasn't as supportive as you thought. So you reached out to other like-minded folks for you. Yeah. So I always find that kind of ironic. You think some people have good intention, but you think the people that you know personally would try to support you, maybe give you a like or follow or, repost some of your stuff. But sometimes you got to go to the perfect strangers who just really, truly vibes with Darryl, and, right. Not necessarily know him. Right. So we're coming through with that same thing. Like I said, there are people that we both know that mean well, but, I guess sometimes you get busy, things of that nature. So we're still trying to find our lane about finding other like-minded, travel bloggers or just, travel content creators who just love to speak about travel. And before I get, into some more serious questions now, I just want to break down just a few icebreakers, if you don't mind. And first, thank you for the introduction of yourself as well. But my first icebreaker, like for me personally, when I travel, just when I do anything, travel or not travel, even if I'm just running errands with the wife, I'm a big, music lover. I'm a hip hop head, more than anything. And so if I go anywhere running errands or going to a trip, I feel naked without my headphones, right? So when Darryl is maybe waiting on has a layover at some airport, or if you're hitting a road trip, my icebreaker question to you, what are some of the songs that are in Darryl's playlist? Or if you're not a music lover, maybe you have a podcast. What are some songs or podcasts that Darryl is bumping when he's out and about?
Man, that is all mood based, to be honest. I can't even lie. It's definitely a lot of soca. Mm-hmm. Masha Montana, it's just the list of soca artists. I mean, it's a lot of soca that I listen to, honestly. The Baby I listen to every now and again, Moneybags, mm-hmm. A few of the new artists are it's kind of hit and miss for me, because I've definitely gotten away from listening to the violent rap. I mean, don't get me wrong, whenever I want turn up, before I hit a party, I can listen to it, but listen to it on a regular basis is
no.
You know what I mean? Because it just you really start to learn, how music affects your mood and everything. So I'm just I don't want to hear about nobody getting shot up today, man. Like I just want to hear about people having fun. So I just turn some soca on or something, you know.
I feel you.
Yeah, like of course, like like the big three, like J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, those guys. But yeah, I definitely say for the most part, like it definitely depends on my mood. But I would say it's a few of the new artists, but I can't even name off the top of the head. Like I'll probably have to matter of fact, let me go to my phone.
Okay.
It's like I'm telling you, man, it's like it's really like a hit and miss with some of these newer artists. I mean, don't get me wrong, like I love them, but it's just not my vibe, But who we got? Lil Kid, let's see, of course DJ Mustard, 42 Doug. Like he's one of my favorites from the new group. I would definitely say.
Okay.
But yeah, like not too much though. Like far as like the rap music that people would typically expect me to listen to. So
no, I got you. I mean, I don't have a lot on my age. I'm proud of my age. I'm 37. So before you know it, I'm gonna hit 40. But I'm getting to that stage where, at one point Pusha T used to be one of my favorite rappers. I'm getting to that point where I don't need to listen to like coke rap or cocaine rap every time. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely understand that. My next icebreaker for you is like, hypothetically speaking, in like this fantasy scenario I'm gonna throw out at you. If money is no object, right? What is the number one destination that Darryl wants to go to?
Honestly, I think it'll still be Japan.
Okay.
One, like I'm a huge anime fan. Like that's like first and foremost.
Okay.
So between that and then like knowing like some of their history and everything, like it's just fascinating to me.
Gotcha.
Same with Africa too. So I can't sit here and say like and not name Africa, but it's so many countries on the continent of Africa. So I mean, whether you go on West Africa, South Africa, North Africa. I mean, it's so much to explore on that continent. And for myself, I know like that's something I want to do like before I leave this earth. It's like definitely travel from West Africa to East Africa, like all throughout the countries.
Okay.
I would definitely say for myself, Japan would definitely be it, just because of like how the infrastructure is, the culture there. I mean, it's different.
Yeah. I feel I'm the same way with that's a bonus point for me too. I'm an anime fan. I mean, from like the old school stuff from like Cowboy Bebop. I don't know if you're familiar with that one. Yep. Ghost in the Shell, all that type of stuff. That was definitely my vibe. So we right here with that. But one of the topics I really wanted just to pick your brain about, because like I said, man, I think your page is dope. It gives me a laugh every time it comes up on my timeline, first of all. So, I'm saying, like, what's one of the things that, I mean, I know TikTok is, I guess, still considered, fairly new, but what's one of the things that, in addition to your Instagram, what's one of the things that inspired you to be like, okay, let me hop on this, let me get into my TikTok bag and see what this is all about? What inspired you just to get so heavily involved? Because I swear, it feels like you drop a video once a day. I mean, I'm not sure if it's that frequent, but it's like you TikTok more than a little bit, and it's funny though. So I appreciate it.
It's like I was talking to one of my line brothers, and I just really had like one of those fuck it moments. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I'm just like, why not? You know what I'm saying? It's like, because like as crazy as it sounds, like I didn't expect my page to be popular. So it's like I'm not doing things to become popular. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, look, the whole intentions from the beginning is just to show that Black men are traveling the world. That's it. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're doing other things other than situated in the media. So I'm like, well, okay, well, let me just keep this going. So then, like, I was like, talking to my line brother, and then like one of my best friends, I was just like, oh man, like, you remember like we was traveling, like we started having travel stories. I'm like, wait a minute, bro. I'm like, I could bring all of this to life real quick. And so like literally like every TikTok was like, I would say 9.8 out of 10 was a real life situation.
Oh, really?
Right. All of them was like a real life situation. So it was like, I'm really just reliving or just retelling the story of what happened at one point in time.
Oh man. You know what? Like you said, one of them that really hit close to home, hit me in my chest, because I've been in that real life situation too, was the one you use in front of your computer, and you just look at all these, withdrawals or expenses going down.
Right.
It hurts your heart. It hurts.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I went to Abu Dhabi, and then I mean everything was fine, but it was when I had my layover in Germany, and I forgot that the euro has a higher value than the US dollar. So yeah, so like I said, real life. I'm like, wait a minute, bro. I'm like, hold up, bro. I'm like, I thought the euro. I was like, man. Well, yeah, like I was feeling some type of way when I got back home.
Yeah, I ain't gonna front, because even if you're not travel overseas, sometimes you can, like, if you're not on top of your finances, sometimes you just be spending like you got it like that. And right. You mess around and you be like, dog, like, why is there only $5 left in my account? So I think we all can relate to that, especially with the, like you said, the exchange rate can mess you up. It's definitely crazy. But now, like, what's your this is one of, like, the minor debates that I always have with my co-hosts. If you're up for, we'd love to have you again whenever you have some time. But one of the debates that I always have with my my co-host, right? He is. I think you and him will get along great. He is gung-ho travel. I mean, live, sleep, eat travel, which is why he's on travel as we speak. But I wasn't as enthusiastic about travel at first because, I did a lot of my travel just within the states. Like, maybe I'm located in Maryland, so maybe I go from Maryland to, like, California, Vegas, Florida. And I ain't gonna front, like, them shits, they add up. Like, I'm a family of 3, so you're talking about a family going out there to Vegas. It's like, I don't know, $325, before taxes per ticket or something like that. Right. And next it's like, damn, I spent a G just to come out to Vegas. You know what I'm saying? And but my homeboy has a different spin on it because he feels like, he loves traveling internationally instead because it's actually not as bad. He feels like it's actually, is more budget friendly in his opinion. And he's on former military, so he's been in, like, Germany, and he's traveled all these different countries, $50 flight here, stuff like that. So, but I know I could be long-winded, but just budget-wise, like what's the best way that you go about planning your trips, from a financial standpoint? Do you just, like, maybe not the best approach that I used to take? Do you just run it up on a credit card and be like, I'm gonna worry about it later? Do you maybe plan your trips like a year in advance? Like, financially, how do you go about traveling so much the way you do?
Yeah, so for one, I'm affiliated with a travel group, so okay. That's what helps me save out because we get, like, group rates on certain things. So anytime they'll have, like, the group travel, like, I'll, like, jump on that, like, because in June we're gonna go to Cancun. So it's like, nice. It's a few of those trips to where it's like, okay, like, I'm able to, like, get, like, a quick bundle and save some money, But then also when you're talking about, like, far as, like, just saving, like, well, rewind, like, so basically, like, I'll save up. So it's like I'll say, like, hey, like, I know I'm gonna travel at least about 4 times this year, 4 or 5 times. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I pretty much make sure, like, I keep my living expenses low. That's one of the main reasons why I'm able to keep traveling the way I do.
Smart.
Like my living expenses are low. I mean, I can afford, like, a crazy nice, townhouse or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can, but it's like I'm not gonna own it. So I'm like, I'm not in the hood, so I'm like, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I make sure that my living expenses are low because, I mean, to be honest, I mean, it's a bit off subject, but it's like some people, well, I would say a lot of people live outside their means, so it's like they don't have, like they don't have like much to fall back on if things were to go left. So it's like if I were to have one of those moments, it's like, okay, I'm not too worried about, like, maybe I don't take this trip and I can just wait to go on this next one.
Right.
So it's just, so one of the main things is really just living below your means. That's how
I agree with that. I remember, matter of fact, like, that's the reason why I brought it. Like I said, like, once again, not to get too off topic, but it does relate when it comes to budgeting and travel, right? Yeah. I remember, like, my father always told me, like, hey, if you want to buy something, stay away from credit cards, this, that, and the third. It's good to have a credit card or two, but don't fully rely on your credit card. If you can afford it in your checking account, just stay it there. And long story short, like, sometimes, you get that young, dumb fuck it moment, and you're like, you know what? I got this credit card. My friends is going, like I said, maybe to Cali or something like that. yes, I didn't save up properly, but you know what? This one time, I'm gonna just spend it on a credit card. I'm gonna spend this on a credit card. I'm gonna just go out there and have fun. You know, you hype yourself up. Oh, you only live once, this and the third, you know, right. All this type of stuff. But then again, like, you don't pay that stuff down, and the interest rate, it really catches up and bites you in behind. So I like to say I'm definitely learned from that mistake when I was younger and dumber, but you know, definitely got all that in order and stuff like that. But to your point, I also agree with living below your means. Like I said, but just like you, I try to plan trips like a year out in advance. Like, you know, like last summer, you know, if I don't want to do like a big trip, like with the wifey and kid or something like that, I'm planning literally like maybe 12 months in advance and even beyond if I can, because I think, like you said, that's smart. And even when it comes to like living like beyond your means, like I feel like we have a nice family life. Like you, we're not in the hood, anything like that. You know, everyone's well taken care of. We're not living check to check, nothing like that.
Right.
And it's like, you know, we could afford to get like a luxury Benz or a BMW or stuff like that. But you know what? My Honda Accord of 2012, going into 2021, still runs just fine, and it's paid for. There's no more.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, and yeah, same thing with my wife. Kia Sportage, you know, it's paid off. We don't need like some, you know, big old expense stuff like that. So I really that stuff like really relates to me, and I do feel like what's your opinion? Like you're on Instagram a lot, obviously. Like, do you really feel like people try to keep up with the Joneses in a sense from like Instagram still?
Always. I mean, like that's even why I had to like take like, you know, I had to back up from social media. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like it's so much of that going on. Like it's like you can't even have an opinion on social media. Like I'm just like, bro, like you don't like what I'm saying, scroll past. Like I didn't ask for you. You know what I'm saying? You don't know me, so just keep rolling. If you don't like what I'm saying, it's not that hard. You know, it's like it's gotten to a point to where it's like if like people feel, well, in my opinion, like I feel like if people feel like if you're not agreeing with the collective, then you're an issue. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, well, just because I like traveling this way doesn't mean yours is wrong. You know, because it was on one, I can't remember which one exactly. It was on one of the Black travel pages, and they was talking about like a air, I think it was like layaway airfare. And then of course like people are like, you know, pretty much were saying in the comments, air affordable. You know, there was like, well, you know, air affordable is around, and it's Black owned too. But then it's like it started turning negative. It's like, well, if you need a payment plan for flights, then you don't need to travel. I'm like,
oh damn.
I'm like, why do you need to say that? You know what I'm saying? For what? Like, it's like, why are you in these folks' pockets? Like, you don't know what's going on, but like you said, folks want to keep up with the Joneses. You know what I'm saying? And then like my personal theory is, it's like you want to keep up with the Joneses, but you don't know what the Joneses know. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's like some of them that like they could have those businesses where they know all the loopholes and stuff, to where it's like, okay, well, I'm spending this, but I'm getting back this in the beginning of the year. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, like, you know, you're out here getting all like taking all these photos, renting Lamborghinis and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, we out here. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, have fun. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying not to have fun. You know, but when you try to perpetuate it as a lifestyle that you're living on a consistent basis, there's no need. I mean, like, to me, it's no need for that. You know,
it isn't. No, it's definitely. And I ain't gonna front. You spitting some bars right now, man. Like you bringing it closer home. You preach. As a matter of fact, with the whole thing you said about, hey man, like, it's my opinion. You don't have to, like, you can scroll past. You just put out that video, I think, with like yesterday or something, if I'm not mistaken. Well, like, it was that's the most recent video I saw, and that really hit home for me. I really feel like you said, it's very scary out here to where you really can't give your opinion like that anymore. You know, because there's always someone who's going to find some type of way to maybe criticize you, something like that, man. So have you had, like, I mean, like I said, I feel like your page is growing. And once again, I'm not in your algorithm pockets or your analytics and all that type of stuff. But to me, from the outside looking in, it feels like, you know, your stuff is growing pretty good. You know, I don't know if I'm following you on TikTok, and like, I just created one not long ago, but if not, I gotta look you up. But so I take it that video may have coming from a real place. Has anyone, you don't gotta name names, but has anyone came at you crazy? Like,
oh yeah.
Like what you talking about, Darryl? Like Maya, you know, like, whatever opinion you get.
Yeah, like I mean, like it's people who have come at me sideways, and I'm just like, hey, like, but you don't have to travel the way I do, so why are you mad? Because it's funny because okay, so what was okay 2 years ago? So I went, I had an event to go to in Vegas, so I was in Vegas for that weekend.
Yeah.
So one of my frat brothers, he was living in Atlanta at the time. And I was like, hey, I'm not gonna be home for homecoming this weekend. So I'm like, you can crash at my spot if you want to.
Okay.
He was like, all right, cool. So
Right.
then like I called him up. I was like, hey man, like everything good. Like just want to make sure like career's good. You know what I'm saying? He's just like, yeah, everything good. He was like, yeah, people asking about you, but also some people had some shit to say. I'm like, about what? And then he was naming a few people in particular. Was like, yeah, like he travels that way, but I can go to Vegas just like he can too. I'm like, I'm sitting over here like I didn't do nothing. Only thing I did was just travel. That's it. I did nothing. I didn't bother nobody. I didn't shout nobody out. I just popped up on my Facebook in Vegas, and I'm like, and people have all this negative stuff to say. I'm like, really?
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I'm saying? It blew me.
You know, I ain't go front. That sounds like a jealousy problem. Not a Darryl problem, but a jealousy problem.
Yeah, man. So it was just like that was always like that was the thing in the beginning. You know,
Okay.
and my rebuttal always was like, bring your ass next time. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not that hard. It's like, okay, you want to come with me? Come. Mm-hmm. There's an invite. Let's go. Okay. And then it's like left on red. I'm like, okay. But
so it's people that you that they've had an open door invite to come. They don't come, so they criticize you. Say it's been those people.
Especially in the beginning, yeah. Like I'm just like, wow, man. Like I know what like I was a bit like I was dumbfounded in the beginning, and it did kind of like I can't sit here and lie and say it didn't have an effect on me because it did. You know, because I'm sitting over here like, yo, these are folks that you know what I'm saying? I'm like, wow, like, I'm sitting there saying that you want to go here. I'm like, hey, let's go, and this turns to a critical mode. I'm like, okay, bet, no problem.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, I mean, and that's one thing. I mean, like I said, I haven't, at least to my knowledge, you know, I haven't had any type of negativity, you know, thrown my way necessarily, or any type of podcast beef or stuff like. But I have, you know, some of my, you know, people that I've gotten to know through this podcast lane, like other, you know, podcast hosts. I've had beef with other podcast hosts, and sometimes just when I'm outside looking in, I just be like, well, what are y'all arguing about again? Like,
exactly.
and that's no disrespect to the folks that's been involved in any type of podcast beef or just any type of social media beef, period. I think I'm just at a moment where like, I'm always like, look, man, and maybe you can relate to it as well. I'm like I said, I'm in my late 30s already. If things get too out of pocket on social media, I could easily just log off and spend family time with family, or just go out with real friends that I know in real life. You don't have to come at me, you know, crazy or something like that. So like, even with that situation, once again, no names or stuff like that. When you found out folks was like coming at you sideways, like, did you move a little different towards them, or did you, you know, like let me give you an example. Like in real life, I had someone who maybe came at me sideways, and with my type of personality, I don't need to confront you necessarily face to face. If you're not man enough to say it to my face, I don't have to come to you, you know, directly and confront you, because you're not even man enough to come to me face to face. So when I found out people come at me sideways, once again, this is not social media, this is real life. People come at me sideways. I literally just, like, you know, I guess for lack of a better word, you just ghost them, or like you just cut them off. You don't have to interact with that person if you find out that they come at you wild. So in your situation you just described, when you found out these people coming at you sideways, did you confront them? Did you just kind of just fall back from a little bit? Like how do you play situations like that?
I fell back. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I'm like, first off, it's like, I don't see you on a regular basis. You know, like only time we interact is digitally. So it's like, I don't have to talk to you. You know, and then like, I guess like they kind of felt that energy or something, because then before you know, I started seeing some of them like comment here and there and like trying to agree with what I'm saying, like especially when I had the positive posts. I'm just like, I'm like, all right, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, like, I'm not gonna hold on animosity towards anybody, you know what I mean? But it's just like, you like, to me, it's like, you show me who you are, so I know, it's like, so I know what I need to do. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
it.
So it's like I'm just gonna keep my distance. It's like, oh hey there, what's up? Chuck a little deuce and keep moving. Like that's it. You know, like you don't need to know what's going on in my life. If you want to know, if you're that nosy, just check my social media.
There you go. I mean, you hit it right in the head, man. I feel like, yeah, like once someone shows you who they are, hey, believe them on who they show you who they are. You know, don't be like, oh, maybe this person had a bad day. Nah, this is more than likely who this person is if they act like that. So I agree. But you know, just to get back on on a more positive note when it comes to traveling, just out of curiosity, man, like how many countries have you been in, and also how many states have you traveled to?
Countries, it's been let me see. Hey,
Oh, so you big time. You mess around and lost count. You know what I'm saying?
no, it's like I mean, like it's not as many as as I would think or that I could do. It's just kind of like I would say 2019, I was ready to turn things up, but then of course that's when things like took the turn for the worse. But it was like, let me see, like I went to like been to London a few times because I was dating someone. She was stationed out there, so
Nice.
been out there a few times. Been to the UAE, Abu Dhabi, and Dubai. Went out there. What is it? Of course, like been in typical spots in the Caribbean. You know, Jamaica,
Right.
Puerto Rico, you know, Dominican Republic, Mexico. So not as many countries as I would like to have gone to, but at the same time, it's like when I was ready to take things up, you know, things changed. But I definitely do plan to expand, like especially like outside of the United States.
Yeah.
Definitely expect to do that. But also, I haven't like I would say, well, no, I've been yeah. So I would say it's just like the bigger cities I've been to, like LA.
Yeah.
Like I've been like that's been on my list for a minute. Like I might go out there. Like I want to shoot for like August, September. You know, but I'll probably say stateside is not, it's maybe like 12 or 13 states.
I got you. Okay. Hey, but like, you know, like you said, I mean, once again, I mean, you got the travel group going. You definitely been to, you know, more places than I've been. I've only been to Cancun when it comes to international travel. So kind of vice versa. Most of my travel's been, you know, within the states. Like I said, New Orleans, LA, Miami, stuff like that, San Antonio. But Preston jokes with me all the time, like I need to get my passport game up. So I'm gonna try to turn up with that, you know, within the next with the next coming few years or you know months rather. So I definitely feel you on that. Dang, like what the one thing that you did say that I thought was very inspirational, and we'll wrap it up in the next 5 minutes or so. It was a video you did back in, I want to say January. You was talking about how, and if you remember it, please correct me if I'm wrong or I'm paraphrasing it, but you said something that I found was so real, and I would love you to expound on that if you could. You was letting people know, like, look, if you want to be successful in a certain thing, follow people who are truly successful at that particular craft. Don't necessarily, for example, you don't have to necessarily, if you want a happy marriage, you don't necessarily have to follow a Derrick Jackson since you found out what happened with Derrick Jackson. That's pretty hypocritical. Follow other people who are truly successful in their marriage and don't have some secret, you know, infidelity life or things of that nature. Oh, whatever the path is, follow people who are truly successful. And I think your point was, you know, especially I guess in the social media area, you have a lot of people giving their expertise on things when they're not necessarily an expert on it. Like, can you expound on that? Like, if you don't mind.
Yeah. So like, so it was a quote that I learned. I learned from a mentor of mine, like from a few years ago. His name is Lee Morgan. He had said, he said, follow the people who have the lifestyle that you want.
That's what it was, yeah.
And it just resonated with me because that's what I was saying is like a lot of people are just following people on social media aimlessly, you know, and it's like you're looking at everything that looks good on the outside, you know, like you don't really know these individuals. And I said like that's myself included. You know, it's like I don't put myself like, oh, I'm up here. It's like, no, like that's definitely not the case. It's like only thing I would tell people is like if there's something that you want to do, it's like there's someone out here that's doing it out here in this world. So it was like follow them. It's like even if it's through social media, like even if you're watching their YouTube videos, or maybe it could be a successful businessman. It's like maybe if they have a seminar or something, attend those seminars. If someone is doing whatever type of craft that you're looking to get proficient in, follow.
Got you. I really appreciate that. And like I said, I mean, it feels like you're definitely on this traveling path. You don't have to drop a name if you don't want to, but like I take it you've taken your own advice, and maybe I guess you follow some other folks that you feel like has been successful in like the travel blogging atmosphere, or even the social media atmosphere. Like I said, you're very active, you're very consistent when it comes to social media. So once again, if you don't feel comfortable, you don't have to drop names, but can I assume you've taken your own advice and followed folks who you feel like have like that successful lifestyle?
Yeah, one of the guys, Carlos Rogers, he definitely has like this crazy lavish lifestyle that he lives.
Mm-hmm.
Been following him for quite a few years, personally know him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like he's like one of the individuals I speak about. It's like this is the lifestyle I want. It's like so you follow people like that. It's like a plethora of entrepreneurs. There's a guy named Michael Bruno, like same thing. You know, like these guys are out here like making moves on the entrepreneurial level. So it's like you have to follow what they do. You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't say like verbatim, but it's like that's the beauty of like being around people like that. You can take bits and pieces of like, okay, this fits me. Okay, now I know what to do in this type of situation. Or it's like now it's like well, he's doing this. It's like, okay, so he would probably do this if he was in my situation. You know, that's just from like, you know, just being around people like that.
Right.
You know, so and then like travel space. This is he goes by GQ50. He has a he has a the travel
travel guys podcast, right?
Yeah, like yes, like brother, like hella cool. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, and I had seen like, and I told him it was like he like when he started, I seen him start doing TikToks and things like that. I was like, yo, like he definitely like he sparked the fire because I was like, I can easily do that, but I was always just being like well reserved because I can't even lie, like I was so afraid of being judged, but I had to get over that hump. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, okay, I may say something that may spark something in other individuals. So I'm like, so the hell with the other people who don't like what I'm saying. It's like it's all about reaching people who do.
Yeah, I hear. And matter of fact, I'm glad that you said that about, hey, you know, sometimes you can't worry about being judged. Just be yourself. Because I did like a few TikTok videos, and it's like, but you know, I'm comfortable talking like in this type of relaxed platform right here. But when I get on TikTok, like there's something that's still awkward with me trying to act out something in front of the camera or something like that. But I'm trying to get better at that. So for you to say, just try to block out, you know, what you think people might think of you and just do it, stuff like that makes me feel more encouraged to try that. And I have, to your other point, I have followed GQ50 fairly recently, and he has some really dope content as well. Yeah. I like the Travel Guys podcast too. I like, once again, that's one of the fairly recent additions that I've been doing. Like you said, so I really appreciate that word of advice. And you know, once again, we're about to wrap up soon. Can you, just for our listeners, let people know where they can find you on TikTok or Instagram or anywhere where you want them to follow, even if you have any travel group information, that if, you know, whatever you want them to follow you on, let them know.
Yeah, I would just say like I basically just like keep everything at Take Off with Darryl on Instagram. Like that's basically where I'm at most of the time. Like I literally just use TikTok just to put the videos out there and just keep moving. Like I don't do anything. Like I'm on there. It's just like literally to make the video and just like and ship it off. Like that's pretty much it. But yeah, that's where you can pretty much find me at. As far as new content, not gonna be doing none like anytime soon. I'm in a transitional period in my life right now, so it's like social media is taking a back burner for the moment. But I'll be putting stuff out probably back out in June. So at the moment, chilling out for a little bit.
Okay, I appreciate it. And like our final thing is maybe last about 35, 40 seconds. We like to end all of our interviews with a little segment called rapid fire questions. I simply give you two options. You give me your answer or whatever the first thing that pops into your head. Cool?
Cool.
All right. So first question, would you prefer luxury or budget?
Luxury.
All right. Train or plane?
Plane.
Hostel or hotel?
Hotel.
All right. City life or beach life?
Beach life.
Beach life. All right. Desert or tropical?
Tropical.
Tropical. Cold. Well, I think I know the answer to this. Cold destination or hot destination?
Hot.
All right. All right. So off the beaten path or organized excursion? Organized excursion.
Off the beaten path.
Off the beaten path, my man. Photo or video?
Video.
Solo or group travel? Got you.
Yeah, definitely. Cause like I've done both, and they're equally good. Like I can't even sit here and say like I prefer one over the other because I got a great group that I travel with. You know what I'm saying? Like every time we get together, it's just nothing but fun. And my solo trip overseas, that was Abu Dhabi. That was dope because it's a city that's just pretty. I mean, it's one of the safest cities for a reason. You know, like I think like the crime rate's like 0.5%, something like that. I mean, it's crazy low. You know what I'm saying? And I see why. So it's like out there, like I said, like so when I was out there, like I didn't like feel the need of being like, you know, extra vigilant or anything. Like even though I was still vigilant, but it's kind of like I wasn't walking around as if like I would be here in the States. You know what I'm saying? Because the society there is different. So it was just as fun, like meeting random people. Like I went on a desert excursion. I'm taking random shots with Russians. You know what I'm saying? It's like just wild. You know what I mean? I'm just like, oh, like, and I didn't expect that. You know, so I had just as much fun on the solo trip as I had my group travel. So.
Oh, and that's fair. Hey, you'll be torn. So we're gonna leave that as torn. And final question: do you prefer fast food or dining in?
Dining in.
Dining in. All right. Well, once again, Darryl, I'm a big fan. I'm gonna continue to follow you. I understand that we all may need to, you know, decompress and unplug from the social media world. But whenever you feel like coming back, I'm gonna be sitting there support with the likes and things of that nature. And I just love what you do, man. I hope you keep it up. And I really, I can't stress enough. I really appreciate your time, man.
Hey man, appreciate you, bro. Like, definitely, man. That's not a problem. Just let me know when you want to do this again, and she'll work something out.
Okay, man. Well, this is Ryan signing off. And before I forget, be sure to like and subscribe on our YouTube page. Just simply search for Adventures with Pictures. And we're going to be promoting this within the next couple of weeks. So this is us signing off. Peace.